Welcome to the Scottish Rite Journal podcast, an audio presentation of the Scottish Rite Journal, brought to you by the Supreme Council of the Scottish Rite, Southern Jurisdiction, Mother Supreme Council of the world. This week's article is The Cardinal Virtue of Justice, the Most Complete Virtue, by Brother Mark Dreisenstock, 33rd degree, and comes from the January-February 2024 issue of the Scottish Rite Journal. In the second article of this series exploring the four cardinal virtues of fortitude, justice, temperance, and prudence, we address justice, a virtue still spoken of widely in daily parlance. Masons, of course, regard justice as that statement or boundary of right that enables us to render to every man without distinction his just due. Many great writers have counted themselves among the rolls of Freemasons, and some of these writers have explored the nature of justice. As in the accompanying illustration, justice is often represented emblematically as a woman holding scales to show impartiality, and a sword to represent the sureness and swiftness. Thus, in his miscellaneous aphorisms, Brother Oscar Wilde notes, "There is only one thing worse than injustice, and that is justice without her sword in her hand." Brother Wilde likely means that justice that is equivocal or long delayed is even worse than no justice at all. Brother Johann Wolfgang von Goethe focuses more on the necessity of impartiality in justice, the scales. In Conversations with Eckermann, Goethe says to his interlocutor, "A great deal may be done by severity, more by love, but most by clear discernment and impartial justice." On a related note on the issue of severity, Francis Bacon, whose Masonic membership is disputed, takes care to differentiate from revenge on his essay, On Revenge. Revenge is a kind of wild justice, which the more man's nature runs to, the more ought law to weed it out. For as the first wrong, it doth but offend the law, but the revenge of that wrong putteth the law out of office. Phrased another way, a crime is an offense to justice, but revenge dispenses with justice entirely. In his 101 Noble Qualities, illustrious Swami Premananda, 33rd degree, offers a view of justice that both looks towards the divine and also considers the role of man. The recognition of truth as the absolute foundation of life and self-expression is justice. Recognition of the truth regarding God and man's relationship with God, is the essence of justice. We conclude by noting that in his article entitled Justice in the January 1961 issue of this magazine, Naren L. Jackson, 32nd degree, explains that the ancient Greek philosopher Aristotle called justice complete virtue displayed towards others. Brother Naren illustrates a quote from Aristotle himself, which we give here in the W.D. Ross translation of Aristotle's Nicomachean Ethics. Justice is often thought to be the greatest of virtues. It is complete virtue in its fullest sense, because he who possesses it can exercise his virtue not only in himself, but towards his neighbor also. For many men can exercise virtue in their own affairs, but not in their relations to their neighbor. As the importance of community and the practice of virtuous actions towards one's fellow man both lie at the heart of Freemasonry, we would do well to consider Aristotle's teaching that justice may well be the most complete of all of the virtues. Like and share this article, and don't forget to subscribe to the channel. If you wish to comment, please leave one, and as a reminder, hit the notifications bell. Any accompanying photographs or citations for this article can be found in the corresponding print edition. The Scottish Rite Journal is published by the Supreme Council of the Scottish Rite, Southern Jurisdiction, Mother Supreme Council of the world. Mark Dreisenstock, 33rd degree, Managing Editor. I'm your host, Matt Bowers.